I'm a lot is code for I'm a highly sensitive person. That comes with enthusiasm, and it comes with just that magical quality. But we're told and shamed by society that we're a lot, we're too much, we're too intense, we're this, we're that. And so we grow up thinking that, and we're like, feel ashamed, because it's said in a shaming way. Very shamey. And it's what is it meant to? It's meant to shut us down. It's like I heard a saying, like, there's two things that bring other people's darkness, our own darkness or our own light. And so let's see, the two things that bring, so if we're acting out, if we're unconscious, if we're being annoying or a dum-dum, that brings out, if we're acting from a trauma response, that brings out the trauma response from the other person. But if we're truly living our dreams and we love ourselves and we're walking around in the world as like the shit that we are, just because we're us as is, that pushes people's buttons too. And so for those of us who are enthusiastic, for those of us who are highly sensitive and are deep and are intense and we love what we love and we love to express it, people don't like it. People shut it down. And so part of how we talk to ourselves is like, I'm a lot. And so, I say that, but I'm 100% at peace with it. Because for me, it's just code for being an INFJ. It's a code for being a highly sensitive person. It's code for being an empath. And it's code for this is what my brain does. And this is it. Hi, everyone. This is so cute. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a tool that comes up sometimes. It's not one of the tools that's like, you need to do this, but when this issue comes up in my sessions, this is the tool that I use. And it's called the Path of Personal Growth. So this is what the Path of Personal Growth looks like. So we learn this shit. We're like, oh, I have trauma responses, or oh, I'm a highly sensitive person. For some of you, that's going to be the first time you hear something like that. And so Google that shit. And then, because it probably is going to resonate with you. So you learn that you're a highly sensitive person. You learn that, I'm an introvert. And an introvert is a normal way of being. An introvert is just the same normal as an extrovert. We're just different. Our brains are a little bit different. We process information differently. And so we learn this stuff and we get excited. We're like, yes, and life is going to be great now. Or we, and then we fall on our face, as one does. Or, we start feeling ashamed of ourselves. So that's one reason I would bring it up is like, we learn something new, and then it's like, how can I have learned that new thing? How can I know this about myself? How can I know this about the other person? And then fall right back into the old pattern. Okay. So that's one way that I use it. Another way that I use it is when we, like, if we're doing deep work in therapy, like we're doing our shit, like we're doing our work, and then we regress. So let's say I'm working on freeze mode. So we just need to take a pause. I haven't showed it on TikTok. I've only showed it on, I did a video on Instagram if you're interested. I did a bed talk. The whole video was just me laying down, explaining my charm bracelet. But, okay, so let me tell you about my trauma charm bracelet. I promise I'll get to the tool. Yay, thank you. I'm so happy to be on your For You page. Okay, so this is the tool, and it comes from a fucking joke from Maria Branford, Bow Down. So she was on a podcast, or she's one of the members of the podcast, whatever. It's a comedy podcast, and she's playing a character. And so the character is just a woman who is running an MLM, and she's, nuts. Anyway, so, and so every time the podcast for every podcast, they say, hey, what are you, I forget her character's name, but hey, what are your new items for the week? And so she'll come up with these like weird items, you know, like a pillow. She's like, this week we have a pillow to cry into, you know, stuff like that. So just jokes, right? And so one week, she talks about, I do. Everyone says that. Like, no, I mean, I didn't mean that you're like everyone. I didn't mean that, but I'm like that. You're dead on. Like I did one of those shape shifting videos, TikToks. I morph into her. So yes, I get that a lot, and I take it absolutely as a compliment. And I fucking love. She's a therapist. Anyway, so. Up. Okay, the trauma break. Okay, so one week he says, okay, what are your items this week? And she said, I have a trauma charm bracelet. And so they just start, the other two comedy people, they just die laughing. And she's like, and the host is like, well, what kind of things go on your trauma charm bracelet? And she's like, a cell phone for like when your dad never calls you. That's the trauma charm. And then another one she said, and this is I die. She says, oh, and she goes, and then we also, and her voice, and she's doing the character, she goes, and we also have the 1 year sobriety, melted sobriety charm, you know. So it just made me laugh so hard because I'm a fucking relapser. I can't tell you how many white chips I've gotten in meetings, like constantly getting a white chip. And when she said melted recovery coin, I need that. I have investigated to see if I could find one that's kind of fucked up. So Okay, so I specifically bought this charm bracelet to create my own trauma charm bracelet. Okay, it seems negative, but I'll explain. Okay, bitch. So it came just with 2 little charms. And one was the good luck charm. And I was like, yeah, that works because it's like, bitch, you're born and you're gonna need some fucking luck. Like, good luck to you. Like, good luck to you. You're gonna fucking need it. Oh, shit. And so, that's what came with the bracelet. But then I went on my escapade. I went on my hunt for what could be my next charm. Okay. So, for me, as a Harry Potter bitch, the wand chooses the wizard. And so I know that the charms are going to come to me and I'll know exactly which charms to pick. And so as I was Googling, and so for me, it's like, if this is a trauma charm bracelet, then what are my trauma responses? So, you know, I'm a fawn, so that's a people pleaser to survive childhood. I can't wait for that one. I'm going to get a deer. I'm going to get a fawn on here. I can't wait. It's going to come to me. And then, okay. So then my other main trauma response, if you follow me, you know, I'm a fucking freeze mode bitch. I'm constantly laying down. Like, it's a miracle I'm sitting up right now. And so... Do it! You do it. And let me tell you why you're going to do it. This is fucking amazing. Okay, there's a couple, there's parts that's magic to it. Okay, so one part of the magic is the wand chooses the wizard piece. So as we do our personal growth work in our life, we are on a hero's journey. Like, we're on our hero's journey. And so for me, this is a quest. It's a quest. Okay, now some people... Because one of my favorite things to do is laugh. So this is the purpose of it. So if I look down one time, I'm in a stressful meeting or something, and I might start laughing. That will bring me so much joy. Okay, the other reason this is so magical. Okay, so it seems negative. Why are you putting your trauma responses on a bracelet? For me, I will use this as a tool. I will use this as a tool. So let's say I'm doing something hard, or am with a hard family member, or I'm stressed out and I'm trying to take care of myself. So my inner dialogue might be like, okay, don't worry, we're gonna go home. We're gonna watch Legendary. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you get to freeze. You get to you lay down. I promise we'll take a day off next week, like whatever. Or like, once we get through this, we don't have to do this anymore. We know this is a toxic person. Yes, it's a snowflake. Sorry, I thought it was obvious. Sorry. Yes, ask me anything because if I didn't mention it, it's because I think that it's obvious. Okay, so yes, so that is a snowflake. And that represents my freeze mode. I'm a freeze mode bitch. So as the tool, it can help me like, okay, it's gonna be okay. I can get through this. And it's like a little worry stone, or I can use it as a tool to help me get through stressful things. Same with, it's like, okay, I'm gonna need luck. I'm gonna need luck with this. I'm gonna need luck with this thing. So maybe I'll play with the good luck charm part of the bracelet. So, and I actually do recommend, because being conscious and being alert and awake in relationships is a very hard thing to do. So I often will tell my clients, and I do this for myself, like, put something on my hands, or that's why I wear really cute shoes. So if I catch a glimpse of them, I can remember, oh yeah, bitch, you're self-actualized. Oh yeah, bitch, like, you're doing this. Like, oh yeah. And so having it on my hand, I can see it. And also, depending on how it sits, which one's on top, I can also say, like, if one day freeze mode is just sitting there on top, I can be like, oh, I wonder if I need to slow down, or so that's how I live. I'm a deep bitch. I'm a symbolic bitch. I'm a bitch. Okay. Okay, now back to the tool. So yeah, so stay tuned for the adventure of my trauma charm bracelet. I highly recommend you get one too. Oh, a friend of mine on Instagram, she found that there were these bracelets that have coded messages inside of them. I think it's either Morse code or Braille or something in the bracelet, and the picture of the one she sent me just said "fuck off." So that's the other reason this is really good. It's a secret. Everybody thinks, oh, she's a bitch that wants a charm bracelet. Oh, that's, her jewelry. It's like, is it though? It's a secret. And then here's my fantasy. Here's a fantasy that advanced bitches will get together whenever we meet each other into the world, and we will talk about our charm bracelets and how we got the ones that we have. And I want to know tell me, I want to know yours. Like, it makes me so, so, so happy. It thrills me to no end when, somebody chooses the symbolic life, and it's like my favorite thing in the world. And I'm like, let me hear all about it. I can't wait. So can you, and then the laughing, yes, absolutely. Necklace as well. The thing for me with a necklace, though, I won't see it. And so for me, it's important to see it. But I definitely, and I have other necklaces, like I have a magic wand necklace, and I have, so I have done that, and I do have that. But for me, it's helpful because I want to see it. And so you could also get a ring, or different rings with different symbols on it. Like, for instance, okay, now you're going to know too much about me, but this is something I've never talked about before on social media. But so this is a ring, and it looks like a cross. It's not a cross. It's just a T. But the reason I picked it was because it's a wand. For me, it's a wand. And nobody knows. It just looks like a nice little ring. Little, petite, little, nobody knows, but now you know. Because I collect wands. And so I collected one on my little finger, and it makes me so happy. Yes. And so, okay, so I was going to grab my phone, but I'm talking into it. So living symbolically, you can put a charm as your screensaver. Like, so right now, Mad Eye Moody is my screensaver, which was super embarrassing because I had to get a new phone and the people at the phone store saw it. But it's because I'm working on something that requires constant vigilance. And so for me in my recovery right now, I have to keep a real close eye on it. So whenever I see him, I think, oh, constant vigilance. Let me remind myself. Okay. So, okay. So here is the tool that I was telling you about. So we do our work. So look, even this, like, oh, I got this charm bracelet and I got this, it's going to help me think of things and it's going to help me stay conscious, and then I totally forget about it, or I forget to wear it, or I put it in my jewelry box and I forget to wear it. And then what might happen is, and what happens in my office, I might say, I am so stupid. I cannot believe that I remembered that thing. And then he is a love. Mad Eye Moody is a love. I can't believe I invested in that and I don't even fucking wear it. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I can't believe, I was so happy about that. Or I was so happy to find out I'm a fawn and that I'm this way because of, it's a trauma response, not because I'm bad or lame or needy or whatever. Like, you learn these things and then you find yourself in a position to where you're like, oh no, I've done it again. Okay. This is the tool for that. So it is the path of personal growth. And the path of personal growth looks like this. That's the path of personal growth. So we start off, oh yay, I went to therapy. Oh yay, I read a book. Oh yay. And so, oh my God, this is amazing. Or, oh, this therapist gets me and I'm not a dummy, or I'm not a lot, or I am just a highly sensitive person. Nothing's wrong with me. I just have these, there's nothing wrong with me. I just have the freeze mode trauma response. And so this is so great. And happy and free for a while and out of depression or whatever. And then, okay, so and then we go, and then it's like, oh God, this is great. I know this stuff. And then we're like, oh no, I've fallen back into depression. Oh no, I can't get out of bed. I can't, woe is me. Like, this is terrible. And also we beat ourselves up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I knew that before. Why didn't I know it now? Okay. So then we have to use our tools and we have to do our shit. And then we go to therapy again. And then we go up. And then we're like, yay again. And oh, I understand. And oh, that makes sense. And I love that insight and that's great or whatever. Okay. And then we fall back down. Okay. So something happens, an inciting incident, or, we get triggered or whatever. And we're like, oh God, how have I done this again? Or how did I choose another person? Well, why did I ignore another red flag? And blah, 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 blah. Okay. But here's the very important part of this. Is that when you are here in the lost, in the misery, in the like whatever, bitch, that's still better than this. Your worst day further down the line in recovery is still better than your best day when you were less conscious. And so this is huge. This is huge. Because and why is it like this? Like, I'm telling you, this is it. This is what it looks like. And don't believe me, trust your own experience. But here's some of the reasons why we know that this is what it is. You can't unknow what you know. Like, when I relapse with my eating disorder, that's horrible. I hate it and I'm ashamed and I feel terrible. And it's just me falling right back into an old pattern, into dysfunctional coping mechanisms, like just me lost again. But when I lose myself, and when I pull myself back out, or even here, let's say I relapsed, 3 months ago. Let's say I did that. Do you know how many 4th and 5th steps I've done? 4th and 5th step. That's, you tell all your secrets. You release all your shame, you release all your guilt, you have trusted another person, you've become vulnerable with another person. Just because I relapse, I did not unknow that, I did not unexperience that. Like, the thing about me doing those steps is that healing cannot be unhealed. That shame that I was freed of, it didn't come back when I used, that's that lifelong shame, that heaviness. Like the gift for me of a 12-step program, or at least just doing the 12 steps, what the hell, might as well, they're just tools, is you tell another human being your stuff. Guess what? I don't have any secrets about anything. Because you know what? I did a 4th step that said, okay, now write everything you said you'd take to the grave. Excuse me. But I was so desperate because I could not stop using. I could not stop binging and purging all that time. So I was like, well, I guess I have to tell her these horrible things that I've done. Okay. So I'm going to stop for a second and address. So for me, a spiral is actually a sacred symbolic object. You'll see spirals in lots of, magical realms, and spirals occur naturally. That's why in my office, I have a nautilus, that spiral shell, because, I'm a symbolic bitch. So that, just reminds me of the spiral of personal growth. And for me, it's helpful for me to, I see spiraling out. For me, it's just the spiral. The spiral is what it is. I'm here, or here, or here. It's still the same spiral, and the keep going part is crucial. Just keep going, put one foot in front of the other. The other one is it says, but the thing is, I keep falling down no matter what, and it keeps getting harder and harder. Okay, yes, and so if you look at this, part of how we grow is to fall down. Like, there is no spiral that goes, whee, I'm recovered. Like, there's no path of personal growth that's like this. Like, yay, we're done. Like, I learned it, I never have to do it again. No, the failing, the falling, the regressing is part of the growth. We can't throw away. I can't say my depression didn't get me to all this fabulousness. It's part of it. I went through that. I pulled myself out, and I will have another depression. It's only a matter of time because these things happen to me. But when it does, I use tools. That's what my tools are for. I never give up hope. I'm very frustrated when it's here. I don't like it. It's very upsetting when I'm here. But we use tools. Do the next right thing. Take care of myself. So for me, the word spiral is used about mental health and going off. To me, that's a completely different word than this. To me, this is the cycle of personal growth. This is the spiral of personal growth. So always, if we're using the other word, I'm going to spiral out of control. We will do that. That's what this is. We use our tools to get back on the path. It's no problem. That's what our tools are for. And it's it's not our fault we spiral out. It's not our fault we lose ourselves. It's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to figure out what to do to get back on, because that's what we're called to do. We're called to be self-actualized. And so okay, when I'm in a mess, it's like, what do I do? And I use my tools. Therapy's a tool, books are tools. I have a bunch of tools on YouTube. I have a bunch of tools, a ton of videos on Instagram, just constantly talking about tools. I teach classes. I have a class coming up this Saturday with tools. I'm a tool bit that. I don't know how to live without my tools. And I don't think spiral is in a bad way. I just think it's a different word, because I don't it's oh, I'm spiraling again. Here I go. I can see that. But to me, it's a different word than this. And I don't really call this a spiral, but I call this, for me, what I call this is the path of personal growth. This is what the path of personal growth looks like. And part of it is, we will go here. Okay, so the important piece to remember is that we will go here. It's part of it. We don't, pretending that life is here is unconscious. Pretending that it's always supposed to go well and we're not going to have struggles is to not understand what life is, because life is, part of living is struggling sometimes with ourselves, with people, with our jobs, with our mental health, with the wrongs of the world. Like, it involves, but that's a good thing. Like, that kind of stress can also be a good thing. I look at to me, I don't have a list of all my bad shit and all my good shit. I only have this, is that it takes what it takes, and I just keep going, and I just keep going. Okay, so the most important, two important pieces of this is that, again, even when we get, oh, hooray, hooray, again, so even when let me do one more. Hold on, I can't draw. Okay, so even like, oh my God, this is amazing. Actually, I'm not going to draw because I want to make my point with this one, so I want to keep it clean. So it's like, okay, so we're here, like, oh my God, it's great. Oh shit. Oh, it's getting better. It's getting better. Oh, hello, yay, I'm back. A bitch is back. Oh, it's always going to be like, oh no, okay, great, wonderful, good. And then we climb again. So, but always the most important thing is, even at our lowest low, it's still better than this. Even at our lower low, we're still higher on the path of personal growth than we were when, this is being depressed, more conscious. For me, again, take this or leave it, is better than this, because I know more, I have more. And this to me is always data. Like, oh, I'll never be depressed again. And then I forget to, if journal is one of my tools to help me stop being depressed. Oh shit, I didn't journal in 3 days. And I'm down here again. Oh shit, maybe journaling is helping me. Let me try that again. So that tools. Okay. So that brings us to, this is what it is. This is just what it is. We just keep going. We keep going. So much hope. But this is what I have seen. So it's like, well, this sounds shitty. Why am I even doing any of my personal growth work? Like, what's the point of all of this if it's just always going to get bad again? Okay. This is what I've seen in myself and in my office, and it's magical. Okay. There is no escape from this. This is just what is for me. But here's what I've seen. When we live in recovery and use our tools and are committed to our well-being and do the shit we don't want to do, it's annoying. Like, do I want to do yoga? No. Like, and I don't do yoga. I don't know why I use that as an example. But like, do I want to journal? No, it's annoying. But I do it anyway because I know I want this life, right? Okay. So it's annoying. I'm not saying it's all fun. So it's like, we do. Okay, but here's what I found. When you regularly use your tools, when you heal your trauma, when you stop hating yourself, this part can go slow. Slow. So we get to spend more time here. We get to, oh God, thank God, more time, months even. Rather than like when I was fully in my mess, I was doing this just in a mess all the time, or just stuck down here for a long time. But I have seen this go slow. So for me, that's what I want. Let me keep going. I love that you're watching me from bed. That is exactly where you're supposed to be. And I don't know if you were here earlier, but here's my freeze mode charm. So I bowed down to a bitch. Okay. Okay, so this can go slow. That's why it's worth it. We go slow. It goes slow. We get to be happy for a long time. And then what else is the magic? This can go fast. So we're like, fuck, or whatever. And then we just zoom on by. We do the thing, and we don't beat ourselves up. And also we spend more time down here when we beat ourselves up. It's not helpful. So less time down here. So that's the hope for me, is that like, I accept that I'm a human. I will accept that I'll have times of growth and times of regression. It's even in our language, take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We know that to be true in our lives. That's this. Like this is what we're talking about when we say that. Except we don't go back. That's not a thing. We don't go back. Again, because we can't unknow what we know. We don't unheal what we healed. We don't, we don't sacrifice the other kinds of healings that we've received in the past just because, we're having a hard time or we've made a mistake or ignored a red flag. So anyway, the 12 steps aren't for everyone. Recovery and 12 steps are only for people who want it, it's not for people who need it. Nobody needs it. It's only for people who want it. So I don't blame you at all. And I resisted it forever, but I couldn't stop using, so I had to succumb. So this can go slow and this can go fast, and then we keep going and keep going and keep going. And plus, what's so great is we have the knowledge. We have the knowledge, like, oh yeah, I know what I used before to get out of this mess. I know the things that helped me, and I know that I'm not doing them right now, So anyway, this is what I call the path of personal growth. And it just gives me so much hope. And my goal is to how much can I stay on the top rung? And because I already know it, I know it's going to go down again. I know I'm going to fall down again. And guess what? I have tools. Like for me, one of the best parts of therapy is that to know, like, when I fall into the hole again, and when I fall into the shit, and when I do it wrong, or when I fuck up, or when I get completely, put myself in a position that is not good for me or whatever, I'm like, I'll know what to do. Like even when I'm a grief counselor. And so like, I know bad shit can happen in one's life, unexpected bad shit. And for me, because of all my training, not as a therapist, I didn't learn this shit in grad school. That's the last place I learned. Guess where I learned it? In a therapy chair as a client. And so I now know, after doing all my personal growth work, that no matter what happens to me, I'm going to be okay, because I will find the tools to be okay. I will find the people to help me be okay. I will do whatever it takes, because that's my promise to myself. So I hope that's helpful. Let me see if anybody has any questions. Okay, there was the little Q&A thing. Sorry, this is my first time doing a live. Actually, it's my second time. The other time was like, 2 years ago or something. But I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be just something neat to try. It was just an intuition. I'm like, let me just hop on and see what that's like. So does anybody have a question for me about that? Or let's see. Being physical does help me with my trauma. For me, I wrote it there. I have a website. It's advancedbitches.com. And I also have a newsletter. So if you're interested in my newsletter, there's a link in the bio. And every week I write something about this kind of stuff. And people seem to like it. And I wrote a piece. And so if you don't want to sign up for my newsletter, that's fine, because a week later it all appears on my website as a blog. And so I wrote a piece called Unfortunately Advanced Bitches Exercise. And the reason that's true, it's science, so there's research in that, and we can all go find that research, that it's just helpful. I'd read a book called Exercise within the last year, and I think it's Exercised. It's from this, I think psychological anthropologist or something like that. But anyway, and it just it was just helped me conceptualize this. But for me, because as a Freeze Mode person, I am not spent a lot of time to be connected to my body. And so for me, it's actually helpful. I never want to do it. Understand this. I never want to move. Ever. And so, but I exercise for my body because that's where my psyche lives. and my psyche needs me to do it. So that's the way I've gotten myself to do it, is like, and for me, it's just at least 30 minutes of walking every day, except the days that I don't. And other stuff, what we do. But yes, for me, and no one in the history of time has ever said, I wish I hadn't gone on that walk. It's never happened before. So even though we hate it and dread it and don't want to do it. So yes, for me, moving my body helps. The article again is called, unfortunately, Advanced Bitches Exercise. So you can know more about my thoughts. Believe me, I do also want to plop on the couch today, and I'm going to. That's one of the things that I do is, but understand, as you're first healing from trauma, first understanding about freeze mode, there are times I can't get up. I want to, but I can't, and so I just keep doing other things so that I can pull myself, like I can't get up, but what can I do? Can I schedule a therapy session? Can I call a friend? Can I set a timer to get the things that I'm avoiding done? Can I, what tools or strategies can I use so I don't feel bad about this? Let's see. You're welcome. Guys, for me, that's one of the most amazing things about talking about freeze mode on social media, is that there's so much of it. There's so many of us that are like this, and we have carried shame about it our whole lives because freeze mode people aren't celebrated in our society. We're called lazy and shit like that. Flight mode people, however, busy, workaholism, go here, go there, project, this. Oh, they get applauded and they get paid, bitch. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're healthier than us. It just means they have a different trauma response and they have their own issues. And so, but in our society, freeze mode is shamed. And I have carried a lot of shame about that. Yeah. Oh, believe me, I know. And that's why, like, at the very least, my tool is to watch television to comfort myself. For me, the very least is to like, oh shit, there's still Mad Eye Moody on my, or for me, it's like, I mean, I'm probably not going to put my bracelet on if I am in freeze mode all day. But, if I catch a glimpse of my screensaver on my phone, I'll just remember, like, if I put things in my universe, like pretty things and that I could lay my eyes on. There's a lot of things in my house that are a nod to joy and kindness and love and the colors I love. I live in the colors I love. So to me, all those are tools. So on the days I can't access, past Elizabeth has put things in my life so that it'll just help me get out of my freeze mode. But it takes time. I can't even tell you. Like, there was one Olympics that I just stayed on the sofa the whole time. Like, I could not. It was a hard time for me. And I couldn't move. Like, I couldn't move. I could just do the bare bones. And, but that helped me survive. Like, and I figured it out. And I don't have as many of those. I can't remember the last time I was just stuck on the sofa for 3 weeks. Do I still get stuck on the sofa? 100%. Because I've made peace. That's just what my trauma response is going to do sometimes. Yes, having kids, definitely, for me, it's a blessing and a blessing and a curse. I don't mean that, but like, it was hard. Like, it was hard sometimes where like everything in me wanted to shut down, but it's like, okay, like, you got to take your kids to school. Like, you got to feed your kids. And so, but during that time, I figured out some tools so that I could do that, because I wanted to be checked in with my kids. So that was the focus of a lot of my tools, is to be checked in for my kids. So definitely, kids get you out of your head. I don't break the connection with the sofa. For me, there's probably like an invisible cord between me and the sofa, and I just keep investing in myself and keep using tools and keep doing this stuff and keep learning about freeze mode and do the smallest I can do. Like, whatever energy I have, put it towards my mental health, my mental well-being, my, building up my strength, building up my stamina, loving myself more, And then what did I notice? Oh, instead of 3 weeks, now I only need 2 weeks on the sofa. And then keep doing. Same like this. Like instead of 2 weeks on the sofa, because I used to have like a month on the sofa. Now I just have 3 months, and so it just goes. But my message is it's healable, because I'm just the most brokenest bitch you ever did see. There was no hope for me. Zero hope. And so I'm just letting you know that this shit works, or I should say it has worked for me. And so, here I am just saying, hey, I thought you might like to know. That's why I got on social media in the first place. Like, who would embarrass themselves like this? I mean, I'm not embarrassed now, but when I first started, I was really nervous and still carried a lot of shame. I don't think I revealed my eating disorder until maybe like I was 8 months online. Maybe not that long, but because I carried a lot of shame about it, and I thought people would think less of me. And so, but for me, one of the is that we're less lonely. We're less lonely. For any of you freeze mode, again, if you came late or whatever, like, this is how much I honor that in me. It helped me survive. That's the thing about trauma responses. They actually helped us live. For me, if I'm stuck on the sofa, that means my trauma response, which to me is a rescue response, my psyche is saying, like, like warning, system crashing, too much stress, let's shut her down. So to me, the trauma responses are actually there to rescue me, and they have saved my life. Without my trauma responses in school, going through childhood, I'd be fucked. Like, I wouldn't. And so, but once I started learning about them, I figured out how to slowly. But I know a real sad moment in therapy, because I'd be like, when am I going to stop wanting to eat all the time? Like, when is that going to happen? Like, therapist, tell me. Like, and she's, believe me, the most patient, loving woman in the world. She's like, you will always have this issue. I'm like, what? How dare you? And she was right, because it's one of my oldest synapses, like stress, food. And so I just have to use my tools. I have to put things in place so that I don't live, so that it doesn't rule my life, because it would if I didn't keep it in check. So how dare she? Rude, just obnoxious. And so I've come to terms with, I'm never going to have the flight trauma response as much as I would want it. I'm never going to have that. I know that about me. But again, I don't mean to minimize the flight trauma. The flight trauma response has its own pain, there's no trauma response that's better than the other, believe me. Although in our society, freeze mode is more shamed. Just putting that out there. However, I know that about myself. So I know, like, there's never going to be a time when I'm under a lot of stress and I just want to get busy. That's just not going to happen for me. Those aren't the well-worn paths, the neural pathways in me. My neural pathways are just going down, lay down, bitch. What show's on? Like, it's time to sleep, like, whatever. So, but that goes back to this. It's just keep learning and growing, and just, use tools as an experiment. Like, this whole thing is an experiment of what works and what doesn't. Another one of my sayings is, advanced bitches, we always get what we want. We always get what we want. We either get what we want. Shit, that's not even my saying. It goes like this. Sorry. Rewind. Advanced bitches always win. We either get what we want or we get more information. And then we use that information to get what we want. So anyway, I hope that, you're rooting for me. Thank you. I could use all the rooting. And see, for me, again, just being vulnerable and on social media, getting that connection, getting that feedback has turned into one of my tools now. Not an ego thing, not like, oh, like how many followers do I have or any of that shit. I'm not talking about ego. I'm talking about, oh, thank you. I love a paper crane. That's so beautiful and symbolic. That's like a very important symbol. Woo, I'll take that in. Yeah, so being on social media helped me realize I'm not fucking alone. I'm not alone. This isn't just me. I'm not just fucked up beyond repair. That this is a thing that I can learn about, that I know other people have. For me, it's very important to laugh about it. That's part of it. It's part of my coping mechanism, but it's also just part of who I am. I'm always going to find the humor in something. I think that's another thing that has saved me. And also I'm fucking funny, so it's just part of who I am. But so for me, I'm going to laugh about it. I'm going to learn about it, and I'm going to keep healing, and I'm never going to stop. No matter what, no matter how many times I fall on my face, because what? We always win. We get what we want, or we get more information. So anyway, I love you. I love you all so much. Like, thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored you spent some time with me. Thank you for your support here. I am so grateful. TikTok is extremely magical for me. TikTok is my language. Like, I don't know what it is. I was like, did they make this shit for me? Because I've been lip syncing my whole life. I've been doing dumb little dances in my house my whole life. I'm like, you know, I was embarrassed for my kids like to know that I was on TikTok, but it's just like, but at the same time, it's like, bitch, you've seen me do TikTok my whole life, except now I do it actually on the phone. I do it on social media. So absolutely, my ED and my dark humor go hand in hand. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'd be lost without my dark humor. Like sometimes it's too, like, that's really dark. It's the darkest of dark. I always get scared. Like, when I have a dark humor friend and then I go darker, I'm like, she's still like me. Yes, I'm so glad. Good. I love that TikTok is your language too. Yeah. Me too. Like, it just clicks, and I've always expressed myself through music in my life, like, you know, just lyrics meaning things or whatever. So it just fits my psyche. So it is pure joy, pure magic, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you so much. Thank God I have a therapist that does. And sometimes she can go darker. Oh, I found a good fit. You know, we got to, sometimes with our dark humor, we do have to say in our therapy rooms, we have to say, you know, like, that totally makes me want to stab myself in the face or something like that, or shoot myself in the face. And I was like, I don't have any plans. I don't have any means. I just mean it as a joke. Just so she does, to save her from having to, you know, to do an intervention on me. Like, this is 100% humor. I need to express it, and then we can move on. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Love you. Okay, now comes the part. Like, if you love me, you'll get off before me, because now comes the part where I don't know how to turn this off. And so you'll have to watch me do an awkward thing. But what's going to happen is I'll learn more for next time, and I won't have an awkward ending. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attempt to swipe up and see if it makes it all go away. But anyway, love you. Okay, last time. Sorry, before I go. She didn't say I love the feeling of getting tattooed. I get that. I get that. It's so funny. But at least we can find other bitches that get it. You know, that get it. Anyway. Okay, love you. I'm not going to read any more comments because I'll get too tempted to talk. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.